I'm afraid the tests have confirmed our fears. You are indeed bipolar.
Why, yes, SJGAM, I'm sorry to deliver this news to you, but I don't understand how, after reviewing almost all of your handhelds, I may be the only YouTuber that's done this. I can say with confidence that you are bipolar. You put out a product that I like quite a bit, followed by one that should be better because it's newer and it's worse. And so you continue to do this. It's baffling to me how, after all the feedback, you still seem to bungle these things up. Anyways, today we're going to take a look at the M26, the newest one, and find out, do they continue their pattern of bipolarness? Remember to hit that like button and subscribe so you never miss an episode of our awesome content. But let's dive in and unbox the M26, the actual spiritual successor to the M17. Let's go! Oh, hey, why? Hey there, feller. Are you bored? Got nothing to do this weekend? Don't be that way. Come on down and learn how to win. Come on to Deadfred Bingo, just like these recent winners here.
Bingo!
Do you want to win the Deadfred way too?
See that? You could be a Deadfred winner too. Come check out our 3 convenient metro locations, including. No, wait, I don't own a bingo hall. That's kind of a cool thing, wouldn't it be? Deadfred Bingo? I don't know. Anyways.
Like and subscribe to Retro Gaming with Deadfred.
And starting with the box here, we do have a fairly nice box. It does remind me of some of other SJGAM boxes here. It does have video game. This is a 5.1 inch IPS display. It does say 30 plus simulators. We'll see about that. And PSP, again, PSP prominently done here. I think we all know by now, you really want to hit up to something a lot better to really enjoy PSP, something like the Mangmi Air X that's coming out as the base minimum. Although these things can load and play PSP, in many cases, the PSP mini games, the latter ones, not the actual games. We'll see what this has. And 3D Portmaster, I guess. But this is the M26 going around the side, and we do have a 64 gig here. Not much else, just the logos on the other sides. We do have the colorways on this side, so it does come in 2 different colors. And then moving to the back here, we do have the specs here. Now it is just saying a quad-core Cortex A9 up to 1.2 gigahertz. At least it's not saying Cotex. But again, the 5.1 inch IPS display showing a 800 by 480 aspect ratio, which does give it that aspect ratio you'd want for PSP. So we'll see. A 3000 milliamp hour battery, and it has a TF card slot here. One funny thing to note, it says the device does not have a built-in gaming program. Does not? Usually install it themselves, such as installing games. The copyright issues caused by the program are not related to our company. This thing comes with a 60. What's on the 64 gigs if there's no games? Come on, SJGAM. Anyways, let's get this thing open and find out what's inside. It does have a top loading open here, so we can see pretty much everything as soon as we open it here. And we'll get the handheld out of the way. And we do have a USB-C cord, USB-A to C, so no surprises there. Below that, we do have a screen protector. This thing's kind of floppy, not a really good one. I guess it's decent. It'll keep it from being scratched at least. And then we have a manual. And the manual here is in both Mandarin and English. And again, now it says 5-inch instead of 5.1 inch. So 3000 milliamp battery. Machine is for reference picture, blah, blah, blah. So again, talking about PSP, supporting PSP. I don't know. Anything else in here? Nothing else in here, just this cardboard thing. But let's get this all put back in here and put away. And let's check out the M26, which looks like to be the true successor to their very popular M17. Hey guys, sorry to interrupt the video, but I wanted to take a moment to talk about today's sponsor, AliExpress, and the Acegamer wireless controller. This is an amazing controller. It's a mini controller, but the really exciting thing here is that if you can see here on the screen, it has the ability to push down and hide the sticks. So if you want the sticks out or you want to make it more pocketable, you can simply press down and hold it down like this and then let go of the lever and it'll hold the stick down. You can do both sticks for that, making it very versatile. Besides that, this is a pretty good Bluetooth controller that has both X input and switch input as well. It's very light and small. It comes in two colors, black and white, and it's got really surprising good hardware build. These shoulder buttons are great. The D-pad is really nice. And of course, it has these awesome sticks. The buttons as well are nice, a little clicky, and it's very light and pocketable. Hit the link in the description if you want to pick one of these up. Again, this is a wireless controller, the Ace, and we want to thank AliExpress for sending this over for us to take a look at. But yeah, this is a great controller at a very good price. Back to the show. All right, taking the handheld out, and it's pretty nice. First impressions, this thing is pretty nicely, feels nice in the hands. It's light, and so it is light and thin, which I really like, which would make this, quite pocketable, even though it has the triggers sticking out instead of being inline. Might have been better to be inline, but a lot of people like stacked triggers, so good for them. As always, let's start testing the buttons. And the buttons seem decent, not bad. They're a little on the small side, but they do seem to be independent, so that's good. I don't feel them moving other buttons, so that's a nice start, and they're not very loud. So good job, SJGAM. Moving over to this D-pad, the D-pad is on bottom, which again is questionable for a handheld whose SoC CPU is probably not going to play a whole lot of modern gaming. But anyways, the D-pad's on the bottom, and yay, go SJGAM. It is a decent D-pad. Nothing crazy here. It's a little on the small side, but it does pivot and feels pretty good. So give them credit to that. And then moving to these sticks, and they are clicky. I was a little afraid or worried they were going to really jam this up. No pun intended. But the sticks are switch style, but they do seem to be nice. They do seem to be good, and they do have L3 and R3. And then we have a plus and minus volume. I don't prefer that, but we do have plus and volume minus on there, along with home, start and select. There is no menu button, though. That can always be a little questionable, so we'll have to find out about that. Moving to these shoulders, again, good quality here. So I'm getting the opinion here that this might actually be one of SJGAM's better handhelds. We know that they're a little bipolar with their handheld rollout, so let's hope this one continues that. But yeah, the D-pad, the shoulder buttons feel good. They're not too loud, and they feel good. Going along the top, and we have a switch, an on-off switch. Uh-oh, that's always a sign maybe of something bad. A single SD slot. Okay, here we go. And then we have a headphone jack and a single charging port on the top. Nothing on the bottom or sides, so pretty sleek, pretty minimalist, which is pretty cool. And but again, only having the single SD card slot and this on-off switch is kind of making me wonder. Looking at the back here, we do have backfiring speakers, and you can see right there that they have just opened it up here, but they just put a fake one there. It's not dual speakers, just a fake one there to make it look and match, I guess, for that. So a nice smooth back. So overall, at the price point we're targeting, this seems pretty decent. So not bad, but let's get this puppy fired up and find out, is it terrible on the inside? Hey guys, sorry to interrupt the video, but I wanted to take a moment to talk about this guy. Yes, this is Powkiddy's newest, the V90S. Now, if you know anything about the original V90, it was a bit of a janky little console, but it won over the hearts of gamers everywhere because it really was the only clamshell that was available at that time. But now we have the V90S. We want to thank our friends at AliExpress for sending this over. We've been using this console quite a bit. Go check out our initial impression video. But let me tell you, this guy has a lot of charm. He has a lot going for it, including this little slick area down right here. Make sure you hit my influencer page to check out the code so you can save on items like this and much more. Anyways, again, thanks to our sponsor AliExpress for sending over this great handheld, and to Powkiddy for making the follow-up that we all wanted. Back to the show. And now the big part. And while I was editing the video, I noticed how much of a smudge factory this thing is. Guys, I do wipe it off. I try to keep it. But yeah, this thing is holding fingerprints like crazy. So it is a cheap handheld, so you probably shouldn't have that expectation, but know that. But let's hit this switch and find out what we're going to find inside. Are we going to find Emulec, our old friend, or are we going to find something worse? I don't know. We're going to turn it on, and we're greeted with a loading screen. Loading. And Emulec. So we do have Emulec, which is not a surprise here. Although we don't know the CPU, I'm betting this is a Rockchip 3128. It's a CPU we've seen in a lot of these cheaper handhelds lately, usually because they want to use HDMI, but this doesn't have any video out. Okay, and so we have a interesting looking theme here. And going through this, let's see here and look at it. Oh. SJGAM, what are you doing? I don't understand you. It's like you take a step forward and 3 steps backwards. This is so far, at about $40, $50, a nice 5-inch handheld, thin, with some decent hardware. Even if you're going to use a crap CPU, and even if you use Emulec, but you're going to use this Emulec, the one that is tied down and you can't do anything with it. Now, hopefully this is a 3128 that we can put the full regular Emulec on. I don't know. Hopefully this can be tinkered with, but man, come on. Out of the box, we only have sound settings, backlight settings, atmosphere light settings. Hey, at least we can do the lights. I mean, at least they gave us a setting for the lights. And actually, there's quite a bit of different selections here for the lights. So they really want you to have some fun here with the lights. We'll go with some romantic pink. Romantic pink is what they call it. But in all seriousness, they go to all this in your system settings. You don't have anything to do here. So this is just baffles me. I don't know. They've had many other handhelds. They've had a 3566 handheld. So I don't understand, why they do this. But looking through this, so we can't change themes. I bet we can't even get into RetroArch. We'll see. But let's fire up a game. Since they think PSP is such a great experience on here, let's fire up some PSP and play it. And we start to see the first problems here. This thing is, as I thought, not going to run PSP like we thought. Most of the games they have on here are actually the PSP minis, like Jetpack Joyride, the little games that were really on your phone. And so these are not real full PSP games. So yeah, it can run some of these. But when you try to play something like Tekken or Soul Calibur, it's chugging along. It's going to freeze. You might get it playing for a little bit, but it's just not a great experience, which is unfortunate considering the screen. But once we're in a game, even one of these more lightweight games like Let's Golf from the PSP, we cannot do anything. We can't get in and change any settings. We can't get in to RetroArch. We only have that old familiar save and load state and exit, which is just not very helpful. I guess being able to save is helpful, and we don't even have a menu button, so we can hit start and select together to bring that up. Now, I want to talk about the other thing that we learned as we played through this, and I'll show some footage. I don't know if it'll show in this, but this thing has some serious, the screen is not great. This is a very poor screen, which is very disheartening because we had hoped that this would be a pretty decent one. But there is a lot of jitter in this screen when you're playing. It has a lot of the frame rate, like just glitching. I'm lost the word for the words for it, but it's not good. And it's very apparent, especially in games like Mario, where you're trying to run and you can just see, and there's no way to adjust anything. So you're stuck with it. So we went from a handheld that started out to look somewhat decent, that is now has a lockdown version of Emulec, a very lockdown version, with a screen that has just too much of that flicker on it. And so, unfortunately, Deadfred says this is not a buy, even for e-waste lovers. I guess if you want to tinker with this thing, you could, but overall, I'm very unsatisfied with this. The best thing they've released this year is the one that looks like the Switch. They have so many names. I think it's the M25 that has a Rockchip 3566 in it. That has a big 7-inch screen. That is probably the best one they've released this year. Even the M27, the bigger version of this, was a little better than this, and it had that unique CPU that we're still not sure what that was. This, man, if you wanted a follow-up to M17, maybe that's the thing here. Maybe they wanted to give a challenge. I don't know. But I would have liked to seen this at $40 to $50, put a 3326 in this and a better screen, and I think this would sell. I mean, put a 3326, which has tons of custom firmware. We're sick of it, but tons of custom firmware, and get a better screen. This screen is just not great. Maybe it's just my unit. But let me know what you think. Do you have this? Have you played with it? Do you have better results than me? Let me know in the comments. But overall, Deadfred says no on this one. Just can't recommend it. Remember to love your hugged ones and hug your loved ones, because tomorrow is never promised. Fall is almost here. Go get your pumpkin spice. Football is back. We'll see you next time, Deadheads. Deadfred out.